What's up, everybody? Everything that you say and do is unsafe. And sooner or later, they're going to tell you that your thoughts are unsafe. Like, they're stealing our actions. We can't even do what we want to do. We can't even say what we want to say. When's the time going to be? A week, a month, a year, 10 years? When are they going to tell us that we can't even think what we want to think anymore? You can't even have a thought because it's offensive. I'm speechless, man. I have never seen anything like this before in my life. I'm young. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have lived through a lot longer things than I have, experienced a lot of things that I've never experienced. But even talking to the generation of people that are like in their 60s, 60, 65, they said they've never seen anything like this either. So we literally live in a world right now where everything that you do, everything that you say, it's unsafe. You can't say the master closet anymore. Like, you have to say, this is the largest non-bedroom in the house that we store the majority of our things in, because it offends somebody. You can't say quarantine anymore because quarantine implies that somebody is sick and they need to be stuck in a room by themselves and isolated because they're inferior or their immune system is weaker, for either they didn't take care of themselves or on some type of chemo drug, they're immunocompromised for one reason or another. You can't say it's for the greater good. You can't say what we're doing is for the greater good, because 45 million Americans lost their jobs. Some of them have went back. Some of them are still waiting on their unemployment checks. Some of them are getting so much money unemployed that they're so comfortable that they're unwilling to go back to work. And that's not for the greater good. You can't say it's for the greater good, because when round 2 hits here in a few months, which is what they're pushing for, small businesses, which employ about half of America, a lot of those businesses aren't going to come back. A lot of them aren't going to reopen their doors because it costs so much money to reopen than it does just to kind of stay afloat. So when you shut a business down twice and they have to reopen twice, it's really, really catastrophic. But nobody talks about the cost of reopening a business. You can't say safer at home, because as these people start being unemployed again for the second time, dad, an alcoholic, wants to go to work. The safest place for kids sometimes in an abusive family is at school. So now we're going to start schools off late. You're going to do online schooling. You're going to do online college. Harvard is doing everything online. They got $41 billion worth of endowment. They can literally pay for everybody's college tuition if they don't receive a single penny for the next 37 years. They can pay for 22,000 people to go to school at $26,000 a semester for 37 years. And tuition this year online is going to be the same. And they're a nonprofit, which means they get government subsidies. They don't pay any taxes on their property. Why don't they just come out and say, hey, we're really not a nonprofit. We're actually a for-profit. We're trying to make money off of 18-year-olds. Why don't they just come out and say that? Because it would offend some people, I'm sure, if they told the truth. How come other universities don't say that? Hey, we're nonprofit and we get a bunch of benefits for being nonprofit, but we're actually really trying to make some money. Why don't they say that? Because it would offend their employees, it would offend their teachers, it would offend the students, it would offend the parents that are sending their 18, 19-year-olds to those schools. That's why, because nobody can tell the truth nowadays. I mean, when is it going to be? When is it going to be when you say you can't even have a thought to yourself? You can't even think something without getting a penalty, without getting the book thrown at you, without somebody calling you a name. Listen, I've been saying this since this whole thing started. If you don't take care of your 24 inches, you got no business taking care of another 24 inches. But this is what happens. People don't listen to the advice. People don't take responsibility for their failures, their setback, their health problems. I remember when I was in high school, and we had one of those group projects. You know, my job, because I was opportunistic, I said, listen, I'm going to try to find the smartest kid in class and be on that guy's team, because he's probably going to do the majority of the work, and I'm gonna get credit for it. And this is what happens. If I did not change my mindset when I was a young kid, leeching off of other people, and I became an adult, and I kept that same mindset, society becomes full of people that need a crutch because they don't take responsibility for themselves. So what we have here is a healthcare crisis of people making bad, poor decisions with their health, eating fast food, running around, taking drug after drug, medication after medication, giving themselves a false sense of security that if they just feel good and they just look good, they'll be fine. But the truth of the matter is, the fact that you're asymptomatic does not make you healthy. If you're not doing something consistently over a very long period of time to keep your body functioning well, when things like this hit and you start to scramble, you're going to wear a mask, you're going to take drugs, you're going to take whatever vaccine they tell you to take, and then you're going to get mad at people that took responsibility for themselves, that were the smart kids in class, and you're going to try to leech off of what we're trying to do. And all I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to make this sound like a doom and gloom video here. I'm just trying to say, every individual needs to start taking responsibility for themselves. Their health, their finances, their decisions, where they go, what they do, what they look at, what they say, right? And you need to stop being offended at every stinking thing somebody has. Like, I'm not mad at the Cracker Barrel. I'm not mad at Cracker Jack. I'm we need to get to a point where we're just not offended by everyone and everything, and we can just get along and stop being separated, disconnected, and subluxated. So back to my 24-inch analogy here. If I don't take care of myself, and I'm not responsible for me, I got no business getting down on a knee and asking somebody to marry me. But what happens is people do that. People can't take care of themselves, so then they go and they say, hey, I want to take these other 24 inches, I want to make it 48 inches, and my 24 inches is somehow going to be responsible for these 48 inches. And then you start having kids and you turn that 48 inches into 72 inches, and then into 96 inches, and then into hundreds of inches. And I can't even take care of myself. So now a dad can't take care of himself, can't take care of a family. They split, the family split. So now this subluxated person is in a subluxated marriage, which then has a subluxated family. You get disconnected. Now we got a generation of kids running around disconnected that don't have a father. We got a fatherless generation that are running around making up more and more. They got kids from multiple women that are running around. We live in subluxated communities that are completely disconnected, separated, have no guidance, no direction, don't know where to go and what to do. And we're in this crisis. We're in this crisis, and we think the solution to the problem, this is what we've been taught, the solution to this problem is if big government, if my big brother, if big pharma can now take care of me, now everything's going to get better. Everything's going to get better. And it's not going to get better when somebody else is required to take care of you. You need to take care of yourself. So everything that we say, everything that we do right now is unsafe. And if you're not careful, they're going to tell you your thoughts are unsafe. You can't do anything that you want to do. You can't say what you want to say. You can't think what you want to think. And when that day comes, the silent majority needs to step up and start being unsilent and stop being silent. They need to start speaking up for the truth. So if you're the silent majority and you're sitting there watching the video, nodding your head, but you're too afraid to hit the share button, I think right now is the time to start doing something. Thanks for listening. Sorry for the long video. We'll see you guys soon. God bless.